Hello random person, Sab Nino here. Welcome back to Sab Merch Odyssey. Today we are going to be talking about more Area X sets. Though before I check them out, I just wanted to bring up how one of the distributors of the Area X SpongeBob line actually reached out to me personally. I'll show the company's name on screen, but they saw my pineapple video and told me that there are plans of putting all of these sets on Amazon. Right now, the Krusty Krab is on there, and in my Area X Krusty Krab video, I did put the Amazon link in the description. And as of the time of me recording this, they said that they should have the pineapple on there soon. But if the line does really well on Amazon, they are planning on putting more of the sets on there. And they actually offered to give me some of the sets, but unfortunately, I ended up buying the line that I'm gonna be talking about today on AliExpress already. But going forward, if you're watching this and still want to give me review copies of stuff, I would be all for reviewing these sets and showcasing them and promoting them for you. Enough stalling, I just thought that was pretty big. Just wanted to start off the video just discussing that, but let's talk about the sets. Unlike the other Area X sets that I have gotten, it comes with a box. This is the Good Friends line, and this one is SpongeBob's house. There's like a space between square and pants. I don't know what's that all about. I love the flute image. That's very uncommon. Too bad Gary actually can't do that in this set. Here's the infamous I'm SpongeBob stalker, and there's no printing at the top other than the logos. This will change on the other boxes. One thing I find really cool is that for the seal of approval, they actually give the characters a driver's license. The first time I saw this, I thought they got rid of SpongeBob's age, like his birthday, but no, it's still on there. So SpongeBob is probably in his 30s. Also, is this meant to be Imagination Box? Cause it says Inspiration Box. Is it called the Inspiration Box in China? Feel free to comment below. And for the instructions, it has a QR code, and it just advertises all the sets they had at the time. Speaking of which, our first set. Each of these sets comes with these little dome things, these little cubicles, which are really cool for display. And the best part of this is that you can actually stack them on top of each other, but you can lift this up. Oops. If you've seen my Area X pineapple review, then this is almost identical to what was shown in that set. It has the same Gary build, it has almost the same bed build. The main difference is that it doesn't come with a charger this time. It has this door build, but it doesn't open up, which I would have preferred. We even have a miscolored Gary's food bowl. I think the only thing that's really different is this wall and this closet area, which wasn't in the Area X pineapple, but I really love the use of the 2x2s for his pants. And I also like how these ones are his PJs. I say if you can't afford the huge Area X pineapple, then I would recommend this as an alternative. Oh, and the first four in this line comes with a spring, which is a cute gimmick, but the downside is that they're very fragile and hard to put on. As I've said in the Area X pineapple set, this could just be a skill issue, but it has been difficult for me to put these springs on. But thankfully, there are ways to display this without the springs, so at least they're not mandatory. It also comes with this little compartment. There's actually specific things that you should put in here, but honestly, I just use this compartment to put all the spare pieces into, since if not in here, then it would just be in a spare bag, and I just think this would be more convenient. Overall, this is pretty good though. Obviously, the big pineapple's better, but this is a nice, cheaper alternative. Next up is the Krusty Krab, the finest eating establishment ever established for eating. I probably should showcase the boxes. They have some really cool stuff on them. There's this nice greenery. Nothing on this side. This is just naked. So your attention is really meant to be on these corners. Well, let's open this bad boy. Well, off the bat, it's kind of falling apart. These tables are actually springs, which I suppose is a cool concept, but honestly they don't really need to be springs. I do really enjoy the SpongeBob minifigure. I like the different expression he has. It really differentiates him from the actual Krusty Krab set. I love all these little Easter eggs up here. It was interesting how this is the Krabby Patty formula. I thought there was something in this pink one, but there's jelly, there's the secret sauce, there's mayo, there's the galley grub. The one thing I find kind of bizarre is that the customers are fish, like not the background fish, but just normal generic fish. They tried coloring them in SpongeBob colors, but that's still kind of an odd choice. Also, it comes with a secret compartment with a shit ton of money, because of course. Honestly, this is also another nice alternative to the big Area X Krusty Krab. Though I should say, something I just found out is that there's actually a $60 version of it, but honestly the only thing that's really stopping me from highly recommending it is the lack of minifigures. But if it had minifigures, then I say it would have been a nice alternative. Just give us the Krusty Crew. Just add SpongeBob, Squidward, and Mr. Krabs and you'll be all set. Also, the Mr. Krabs figure looks really good. So this was before they fixed this little thing where like the eyelashes are the same color as his torso. They did fix this later on. Also, this is kind of like a manufacturing issue, but the eyes and the hands kind of have to peel off of like a plastic thing, and the way they put the little screws on the eyes makes it so these red things are showing. Personally, I wish they found a way to not have it be like this, so you can still have that green part in. But again, this is a decent alternative to that massive Area X Krusty Krab. Plus, it's an iconic location, so of course it would be in this line. Also, the walls are a different color, I'm pretty sure. I'll show the original walls on screen. I almost forgot to showcase the gimmick. These can stack. Also, here's the side of the pineapple house, just so you see it. But this is very display friendly. The one thing I've noticed from the Amazon reviews, which I think would be pretty important to point out, a lot of people were kind of disappointed that they can't really play with these. I can definitely see that, but from the Krusty Krab and the pineapple and even this line, it definitely feels like they are aimed more at people who grew up with SpongeBob. I'm not saying this is inappropriate for any Lego builders like younger than adults, but there are a lot more tricky techniques. I've actually hurt my hands a few times when building these, so I just thought I'd bring that up just for something to keep in mind if you plan on getting this. Oh, and the Krusty Krab box looks pretty cool. I love this seaweed aqua color. This is really cute. Still no top printing, but that will change. Oh, and here's Mr. Krabs' ID. I'm surprised it doesn't say Eugene Krabs. Oh, I think the inspiration box is just saying that this Good French set is the inspiration box. That would make a lot of sense. Next up is Patrick's house. One of the many sets that doesn't have a bigger alternative to them. That could change. In the pineapple set, I sort of questioned if they do Squidward's house, would they include Patrick's Rock there or have it be its own set? Because I could see it going both ways. I'm guessing they would just put Squidward's and Patrick's houses next to each other just to raise the price, and probably because of the mindset of, oh, no one wants to buy a rock, which I call bullshit. Here is Patrick's ID, and one thing I find really interesting is that it showcases Patrick's birthday. It says here he's born on August 17th, 1984, which means that he is probably a Leo, just like me, and is 2 years older than SpongeBob. That is some really cool trivia. But anyway, Patrick's Rock. This decor is really cute. I love this star piece of gum, I believe it is. I'm not sure what that is. Probably a shell. The SpongeBob and Patrick minifigures look really good. I love SpongeBob's excited expression, and Patrick's face is sort of similar to the one he had in the Krusty Krab set, but I honestly like this one better. It's less creepy. But there's some jellyfish jelly here. I'm gonna move SpongeBob so you can see the frames here. He has a sand TV as well, which is really nice. And probably my favorite Easter egg of the set, they include all of these licenses as a reference to the episode Farmer Bob. They're not really accurate, and I wish they actually showed the photos from those episodes, but perhaps he has more licenses than we let on. I also like how they incorporated the crushed can and sock. I like to think of it as a reference to Battle for Bikini Bottom, but I doubt it is. And this one has a spring too, which works. But the downside is that I couldn't get Patrick's springs to work. I was trying to put him into his little stubby stubs, but I pressed too hard and it just flew away, so I lost it. And even when I was trying to do it with one foot, it couldn't really balance and it was difficult putting them in. So if you want to include the springs on Patrick, please be careful. But again, I'm happy they make the springs optional. Honestly, out of all the interpretations of Patrick's rock, I don't have the snap and switch one, but the exterior of that one looks pretty decent, I won't lie. But this interior is really good. It's honestly pretty amazing how they took something as boring as sand and turned it into a really good building set. And for the last set of wave 1, Squidward Tentacles House. I'm just showcasing the box. Really cool. Interesting how they call them inspiration boxes. And here's Squidward's driver's license. It says his birthday is October 9th, 1977. So he's in his 40s, I think. I wonder if they got these from the wiki. But here's Squidward's Easter Island head. I guess the only downside I really have, from a display perspective, is that this cuts off. If you look really closely, the outline of this part of Squidward's house isn't visible. So I sort of wish they either made it bigger or drew a little outline on there. That's what I would have done. But it's no big deal, and it's something that not a lot of people would even notice. I just critique stuff that probably shouldn't even be critiqued. Here's SpongeBob with a little microphone. I like how casual his face looks. And Squidward has the same minifigure from the big Krusty Krab set, which is a shame. I wish they gave him a new headpiece. Also, he has a piano for some reason, which is a little odd since there is no clarinet to be seen in this entire set. He has the self-portraits, and it shows that he is a musician, but it doesn't show his iconic instrument. They don't even have anything on the shelves. They could have at least put it there. So that's kind of a shame. The piano build is really cool, but when did Squidward ever get a piano? I'm sure there's probably an episode where he was on a piano, but for a display piece it is really cool, and I like the handsome Squidward. I am not surprised that that's the most dominant one, but hey, it is a piece in Squidward's collection, so I ain't gonna fault them for including some meme culture in there, especially since it's very fitting. Also, for some reason, Squidward just has a lot of awards down here. I highly doubt he won those. Those were probably SpongeBob's leftovers. Okay, wave 1 is done. Now let's go on to wave 2. I like how the box sort of tells a story. I like that. So it's basically the same gimmick as the other boxes, except this one showcases the 2.0 set. But one thing I really enjoy is how they added a little pattern on the top of this. It's very hard to see, but it's meant to be Karen's screen. Also, one thing I'm kind of disappointed in is that they don't go with the license gimmick. Instead, we just have these playing cards, which they still look cool, but I just think the license gimmick was a lot better. Especially since you get to learn about the characters' birthdays. I don't know, maybe that was the reason why they scrapped it, but we didn't have to include the birthdays. I would have been satisfied with just the licenses. It's a cool gimmick. It was very SpongeBob. But here's the third ever buildable Chum Bucket. You'd think there'd be more, but no, there's only 3. And with Wave 2.0, they started changing how they build things. For instance, instead of lifting the entire thing, you can open it up like this. Also, this comes with a neat play feature. You can lift this garage, and you can move SpongeBob like this as he's brainwashed. You can see his brain right here. He almost looks like Mojo Jojo. We also have Karen. She's kind of cute. Very tall, but really cute. The downside is that you can't really move her arms without this breaking, so I wish this top section had more stability. Also, Plankton is practically the same build as all the other times we have built him so far, since the minifigures sort of do their own thing, so Plankton sort of feels cheap by comparison. Also, I love how this monitor has a reference to Plankton's army where it says Sheldon. It also comes with this little black scribble thing from Plankton's Good Eye. That's what Karen used when Karen thinks Plankton's going evil. And honestly, this set is really cool. Though I will say I had a really hard time connecting these. I definitely failed, but it definitely gets the job done. I think I did as good as I could. But honestly, I think this is probably the best Chum Bucket build, period. I might even like it better than Lego. The next one is kind of an odd choice, but we have good friend SpongeBob's house. Again, this time it's the secret Krusty Krab from Band in Bikini Bottom, and the top has cool Krabby Patty printing. I will say, this card does look cool. It does differentiate it from the Series 1 SpongeBob, but I still miss the licenses. If they were afraid of reusing stuff, then for the SpongeBob set, I honestly would have given him his milkshake license. Would have been a nice Easter egg. But here is the secret Krusty Krab. What does this say? Oh, it says welcome. I wish they made the font bigger though. Keep it secret, keep it safe. It comes with this photo album. It comes with Gary, who is just serving. Okay, this doesn't make any sense. It has mayo, but what's next to him is peanut butter. I appreciate the reference, but that's just very weird, because peanut butter is not on a Krabby Patty. And it's hard to see, but the volcanic hot sauce is also on the TV. Plankton's here. I put him here, but he's meant to be inside the Krabby Patty. I just am having a hard time doing that. Also, one thing I completely forgot to bring up. The springs are completely gone in Wave 2. There are no springs, and honestly, I prefer that. They're kind of unneeded anyway. But SpongeBob's figure, for some reason, has a bow tie. I actually didn't know that until I actually got him, but hey, it's some nice outfit variety. Also, this background fish is different than the one in the huge Krusty Krab, but the main difference is just his clothes. His head's practically the same. I wish they had back printing on his shirt, because it looks like he's just revealing his back, but oh well. It also opens up like this, and we have Barry from Skill Crane. I'll be honest, I would have included the Confess-A-Bear from Pink Furloiner, since we already have Barry from the Krusty Krab set, but it's no big deal. Also, I like the walls of this set a lot better than I do the walls in the huge pineapple set because, well, it's color accurate. Also, you can slide Gary, similar to the Chum Bucket with SpongeBob. It's not necessary, but I appreciate the inclusion. Oh, and before I forget, they've actually colored Gary's food bowl right this time. For a while, they made it like pink or purple to coincide with the stock art, but this is actually the color they should have used. So good going, Area X. Next up, I can't believe they actually found a way to incorporate Sandy's Treedome. Though it's sort of bizarre how SpongeBob is kind of afraid of Sandy. I don't know what's up with that. The top has these acorn patterns. We also have the Sandy card. I really wish Sandy had like an ID like the rest of them. I want to know her birthday. I'll probably look it up afterwards. But yeah, here's Sandy's Treedome. It's just a bunch of greenery. I love the karate gloves. Honestly, I sort of wish they went the karate angle with this set because although I really love this display piece, and the fact that we finally have a Treedome set, the scenario they've chosen is very, very bizarre because they feature it in Sandy's lab. Also, why does she have a skeleton there? Did she kill somebody? We also have this plate. I'm guessing over here is a Rubik's Cube, and there's also a butterfly, which I like to think of as an intentional reference to Wormy, even though the colors aren't correct. But it's weird how SpongeBob is like Sandy's test monkey in this, and he's like obviously frightened by this. It almost feels like they got Plankton and Sandy in reverse. But I do know why they did this. In the episode Planet of the Jellyfish, there was a scene where Sandy does have SpongeBob hostage like this, but that actually makes sense in the context of the episode to make sure that SpongeBob wasn't a jelly in it, but here, I don't even know the context, if there really isn't. But one thing I do appreciate about this set is how, well, first off, we got our first Treedome Sandy. Though, one thing I don't like about it is the way they printed this. like her cheek area, because there's like an obvious seam here. I don't think that was an issue on the pineapple one, but if you really wanted to, you can actually swap out the parts and have her wear her normal suit, which is really cool. So final verdict, what the fuck, this looks kinky, but it's really cool. I still like it, and is a pretty big milestone because we have never gotten a Treedome set up to this point, and they managed to find a way to make it work. I might even say this Good Friends inspiration box is honestly perfect for the Treedome because it's already in like a glass container. Well, it's plastic, but it's transparent, just like the Treedome. So this almost looks like the dome, which is awesome. And last but not least, we have our first ever Mr. Krabs' house. Unfortunately, the box came damaged, so that kind of sucks. But again, I really like how it tries telling a story with the box. There's actually a huge improvement over Wave 1, the actual like storytelling. Also on this frame, I love how it's Mr. Krab SpongeBob is all the sets. If they ever do a Wave 3, I wonder what they'd do for it. And on top, it's obviously money, because of course it'd be money. He loves money. And we have the Mr. Krabs card. Again, if they were afraid of the repetition of the IDs, hell, they could have picked the one with the mustache, just as an Easter egg. But here is Mr. Krabs' Anchor. Honestly, there's not much to this, but there doesn't need to be much. Though for some reason this shell isn't closing on me, but in the instruction it says to close it, so oh well. Unfortunately, Mr. Krabs is sharing the same face as the Krusty Krab from the previous set, except this time they actually fixed his eyelashes. They still have that manufacturing error, but it's not as bad as last time. So here's probably the weirdest direction of the set, the SpongeBob minifigure. Why is he in his underwear in this set in particular? He's just almost naked at his boss's house. I really hope they're not referencing behind closed doors with this one. Things don't go well for SpongeBob in the end. But for the first ever Mr. Krabs' Anchor, they did really good. I love the color choices. I really love how it looks cluttered and sort of messy. It really leans into his navy roots. I'm a little sad that they couldn't fit in the Dollarama though, but it's no big deal. I love how they include the hammock instead of cheaping out to a bed, which he has had in some episodes. Also, Plankton's just here, which is very interesting because typically Plankton's a piece and not a sticker, but that was the last thing in the set. Here's the entirety of the Good Friends inspiration boxes. Overall, even though a lot of them aren't perfect and some of the gimmicks are a little odd, they're still really good display pieces and are a great cheaper alternative to people who can't afford the bigger, more expensive sets. They don't have this entire line on Amazon right now, but I will definitely see if I can get a link to these two. I know these two are on Amazon as we speak, and I would recommend them, even if I think the rest of the line is much cooler. And I really do hope that they do end up on Amazon, because if they manage to get all the sets on Amazon, I'd honestly start buying them there. Also, due to the distributor who reached out to me, I am deeply sorry that this particular line didn't work out. I unfortunately already have them in the mail, but if you get more sets onto Amazon and want to send me review copies, feel free to reach out to me. I'll be sure to keep on a lookout and we can definitely arrange something. But to you guys, my random people, which of these sets are your favorite? Do you like this method of building bricks? Is there any locations you'd love to see in this format, or any of these that you'd love to see as a bigger set? Comment below, let's start a discussion. And as always, it's all Sab from here.